Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Dirt Drive. This week is just me, Tim. I sit down with Leah and Brent Hockman. We talk about how they're breaking into the off-road world in a big way. They started off as Jeepers, and they just recently got themselves a moon buggy. We talk about how they're getting themselves into some cool competition rock crawling. We talk about their buggy a little bit. And we talk about their small business that they run out of their shop they got there. It's a pretty cool little episode we got for you, so hang on in and check it out. And we're glad you're here with us. Enjoy.
That's where I learned to wheel. No, just kidding.
That's why I learned to wheel. I learned to wheel by trashing my Cherokee in the woods.
That's how you have to learn.
So what's up, man?
Just here, happy to be here. Excited to talk about wheeling, always.
Yeah, you got that cool moon buggy. You've been on 3-4 cool trips so far.
Yeah,
that you've posted.
We've been on about 5 trips now. We've been up to the Cove now twice, and then AOAA twice, and then we just got back from Good Evening Ranch in Canvas, West Virginia.
You guys were one of the first groups to break in the Mammoth Trail, weren't you?
We were there the day that the first people to completed it.
Wow. And they did that in what, 12 hours?
Yeah, Charlie Melchner Jr. and his Jesse Haynes Fabrication portal buggy completed it in 4.5 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like 13, 14 years old, something like that.
And those rocks are literally the size of Volkswagens.
Yes.
Like I like to joke and say I wheel my Cherokee on rocks the size of Volkswagens, but those are...
Yeah, imagine the rock pile and bunny hole at the Cove. Rocks were that big and much bigger.
For like 4 miles?
4,200 feet.
So just less than 1 mile. I guess 3.25 miles long.
Yeah, something like that. They have plans to expand it to 7,000 feet.
Okay, so we were there, I think it was 2019, like February of 2019.
They were building it.
And they were building it. We were up on the ridge. There's a picture of us looking down into the valley where Mammoth Trail is now. And they're like, this is going to be the best thing ever. The guy was like hyping it up. And I'm like, I'm sure it'll be fine. Then it came out, they finally opened it up. I'm like, this is the most ridiculous rock trail. Me and my buddies wanted to do it before I saw you post pictures of it. And we're like, yeah, we can do it. It can't be that hard. 33s, lockers, we'll be good to go.
Oh no. Oh no. I remember when I first saw it and they came out with the drone footage of it and we were like, oh yeah, cool. That's pretty neat for a man-made trail, looks cool. But pictures just don't do justice to rocks. And I think anybody that's into off-roading knows that pictures don't really ever do justice to a trail. Once we got there and pulled up, we were just kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that was my reaction when you posted the pictures of your buggy just lost. You sent me the picture today and your buggy is just lost.
It
you
looks
have
like
to
an
find
RC
it.
crawler.
Yeah. So I sent that picture to my buddies when they put out the rules, which I guess you're one of the reasons, or your friends are the reasons that some of those rules were put out from the Rock Buggies page that I'm on and that you're on. Because when the AOA posted the rules, you're like, oh, this guy's the reason for this rule or whatever. And I sent the rules to my friends. I'm like, hey guys, we're probably never wheeling this trail.
Yeah, you guys could come along and do recovery. A recovery rig is required to run the trail. It has to run beside the trail. It must be a full-size rig with a winch.
Okay.
And I believe you have to have a minimum of 37s, roll cage, DOT-approved helmets. Your spotter has to be wearing a helmet on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
The gaps between the rocks, there's 9 foot
lose a child.
Holes. Oh yeah, you can lose a 6'4" man in those holes between those rocks, and there's a lot you have to think about out there. Apparently, it's a rattlesnake den as well.
Oh yeah.
So
I was out wheeling at the Cove with one of our buddies, and he's like, we were going up U-turn easy. And he's like, you smell that? I'm like, I have no idea. What are you talking about? He's like, you smell cucumbers. I'm like,
cucumbers.
Yeah, a little bit. He's like, what? Well, I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, it's copperhead. And I'm like, oh shoot. So we used to like not stand here.
Yeah. Yeah, you smell that, you want to get out of the way. Rattlesnakes kind of let you know they're around, but the copperheads don't. That's definitely something people have to be conscious of when they're out wheeling on the trails and stuff. We were coming up SOB at AOAA, and I was letting Brent drive the buggy up that trail.
Letting Brent drive the buggy?
Yeah, I was letting him.
You hear that, Brent?
Being friendly. But I hopped in with my friend Steven and his CJ7, and we get right up to the top of the trail, and there's big gnarly rattlesnake going across the trail.
Nope.
And I had literally just hopped back in the buggy.
The danger noodle. Stay away from the danger noodle.
Yeah, I was like, nope, hard pass. Yeah, so sometimes you see people wheeling in sandals and stuff, and I'm like, oh God, like,
oh, all the time.
Stay in your rig.
I was wheeling with a guy from Richmond. He was driving a white CJ7 on like 43s. I don't know why he was wheeling with our group, but he was wearing no shirt, just pants, no shoes, wheeling all day. We did quorum, and he'd walking out, guiding people or helping people, spotting people, not wearing shoes. I'm like, how the hell?
Sounds like a wild man.
Yeah, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, sounds like a wild man. We the second time we hit Mammoth Trail, I was invited by Marvin Stammel with Flex Rocks and Rollovers, and that was, a dream.
That's awesome.
We're big fans of Marvin, and then Holly, Mischief Maker, JKU, Off-Road and Chill, and then, of course, Matt, Colt, and Josh with Bleep and Jeep.
Yep.
I didn't realize they were all going to be there, and we got there, and we pulled up, and it was with the Ultimate Off-Road Field Trip. Mm-hmm. And pulled up and kind of hit me, like all these people that we're big fans of were there, and it was a dream. It was cool to meet them. They're just really cool, chill people, down to earth, funny, and they were very welcoming. They're all about seeing the buggy out on Mammoth. So.
Yeah, that looked like an awesome trip. I followed them last year when they were doing the Trail to SEMA.
Yeah.
Wheeling through the West Coast, getting out to the show, and that just looked like so much fun.
Sorry about the dog.
Yeah, she's fine. Well, our last one had a lot of dog in it too.
Okay.
Yeah, these seem like a lot of fun. I've actually reached out to Holly before about some stuff when the local guy that wheels with like Mike Miller and all those guys, when he rolled his buggy and got burned, she helped share the post for his fundraiser. So
unfortunate when accidents happen,
Yeah.
but they do, and you just have to be prepared, and it's easy to get complacent when it comes to safety until something bad happens. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes something bad to happen for people to take safety seriously.
Yeah. Luckily, with my group and our group, or my group that I wheel with, we're like mostly firemen, so we take a lot of that stuff pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And we like get on people on the trail.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of annoying sometimes when we get on them, but like, come on, you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing my first comp on Saturday at Chaos Off-Road Park with SLRC. It's just kind of to get your feet wet in the comp scene.
Yeah, that's the street legal rock crawling. We were supposed to do that.
Yeah.
2 years ago with Buddy, me and the guys at the shop were supposed to be his pit crew, and I was going to be his spotter.
Yeah.
But he ended up backing out for some reason, and he sold that
LJ.
The LJ they had, the Rubahar that he trashed.
Oh man, yeah, it was sad to see him let that go. But SLRC is a good group. It's ran by great people, and they have an open. They have the street class and open class. Brent's going to run the street class with his JK Rubicon, and I'm going to run the open class in the Moon Buggy. And then we're going to, they're going to sort it out so that we can spot for each other.
Oh, nice. So you won't be running the trails at the same time. You can get out and...
Yeah, definitely. And then while that's happening, then they have, I believe it's X-Rock. That's the extreme comp class, and those guys will be up there too, doing the comp as well.
Okay.
So
what is the extreme class? Is that like more too buggy than your moon?
No, I could totally
crawler?
do that class, but like I said, I'm just getting my feet wet in the comp scene, and I just want to see what it's all about before I dive headfirst into it. Those guys that do that stuff have been doing it for a long time.
So how'd you end up getting into a buggy from the JK? Because that's a I mean, your JK's got 44s or Dana 44s and 37s.
Yeah, 37s.
So how'd you make that massive jump to a moon buggy?
Well, we used to have a buggy on 42s.
Okay.
Brent built that up, and then we got married, had kids, and didn't really have the finances it takes to be into off-roading with a buggy. And with having the family, we just kind of settled down for a few years, sold that buggy, parted it out, and he got really back into the RC crawling, and we decided I think it's time for us to get back into
your operation for your RC crawling in the garage blew my mind. I didn't expect that in this residential neighborhood to have a full out production facility for RC parts. Do you guys have a business that you guys do with that?
Yeah. We run In the Works RC. We make 3D printed parts and links for RC crawlers. We make all kinds of stuff, and we have 3 CNC lathes, 2 here in house. One's at a shop.
Literally in house.
Yeah, literally in the garage. And then we have a real big lathe that's out at a machine shop in Berryville.
Okay.
And then we have 5 3D printers out there, and we're just running parts around the clock. It's kind of a one-man show. We have a buddy that helps, and I help in the background too. But it's been wild. It really took off. And I would say that kind of got us back into wanting to wheel big rigs again. And, we just decided, let's try Jeep life out. And we got the Rubicon and, immediately built that up. We took it out stock the first time.
How immediate did you build it up? Was it like overnight 37s?
2 months and 2 months. So we took it to the first Big Dogs event completely stock. And we ran 5s.
Yeah, that's actually where we met, is at Big Dogs. But Big Dogs is fun.
Yeah,
and it's addicting. Like I jumped in head first, driving a Silverado, beating that up in the woods, and then I got my Cherokee, and you just get lost in it. So I can definitely see the 2-month turnaround. So
then from there, we took it up there. We ran 5s. We were like, wow, this is freaking awesome. Like, I've missed this. Wheeling a Jeep is way different than wheeling a buggy. It's a lot more technical. You have to, really be on your A game. And I tell people that when they're, they ask about the difference. And I just say, honestly, wheeling a Jeep is a lot more difficult. You just have to, be on your A game. Well, yeah, with the smaller tire, the different wheelbase, less power. I guess less power is... Well, yeah, that's kind of open-ended. It depends on your build, your buggy build. Buggy has a 4-cylinder. Yeah, yep, 16 valve Suzuki 1.6 liter. Making all probably 95 horsepower. Yeah, I got a whole hell of 110 horsepower. But it's all I need. Yeah. I crawl. I'm real technical in wheeling. I don't really like to dog it. I'm not trying to break my shit. And I really don't need to. That buggy just goes. It just articulates and crawls, and it does its job. And then, throw rear steer in on top of that. And I really don't get hung up often unless I'm trying. Knock on wood. Yes, unless I'm trying to. But so back to the how we got into the buggy. We built the Jeep up after the first Big Dogs event. We took it back out too. And then after we built it up and wheeled it more, we got into a scenario where we were arguing about who got to drive, because we both wheeled the buggy. And he got me into wheeling, and I just, fell in love. And he kind of just got tired of having to share the Jeep with me. And we came across that buggy on Facebook Marketplace. We found it out of South Carolina, which is bizarre to find a moon buggy like that. I've picked up so many good Jeep parts from North Carolina and South Carolina. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know, I guess Uwari, and there's the Gulches down there where people wheel pretty hard. Just heard about. But like I don't know why there's such good deals down there. They're in Maryland. I feel like we got a bunch of good deals in Maryland too on random stuff. Yeah. So we went down, got the buggy. We went through a lot. We pretty much rebuilt almost all of the buggy. We had to put a new engine in. rebuilt the knuckles, new drive shafts, upgraded RCVs, had 37-inch mud claw tires on it, which never even heard of those.
The high quality intercos.
I could not give those tires away. When we took them off the buggy, like, nobody wanted them.
No, so we have the Greg Browning. He wheels at the Cove. You guys might know him. We bought his Comanche from him, and he had a set of TSL Swampers on there that were dated like the early 90s.
Oh, wow.
And they were so bad. They were so hard. And I don't know if he still wheels them, but I don't think he could give them away either.
Yeah. The tires that were on there, they had tons of tread left, but they were just like, they were bricks. They were a mud terrain tire, I believe. And the first time, the buggy still did okay on them, but that was like immediately, I'm going to 39-inch red labels. I wanted stickies. I wanted red labels. And then we met a guy up at Big Dogs who happened to have a set he was selling that only had like 3 to 5 trips on them. So we went up to Ocean City and got those. And
do the red labels make, so I'm a street tire, DOT tire. Do the red labels make that big of a difference?
I believe they do. I 100% believe they do. They just grab, especially once the lugs start rounding out more on them, they're just going to get better.
When I get a new part and try something out the first time, do you get like that giggle effect when it like hooks up the first time and you just can't do anything but laugh?
Oh yeah. You just get giddy. I'm like, oh, these tires are just freaking awesome. I just first time I wheeled them was up at the Cove at Icebreakers. And it was just a noticeable difference, just the way the buggy grabbed and the rocks and crawled. And I was a little apprehensive going to 39s from 37s. I was just worried about the drivetrain and the stress, but we had upgraded RCVs and it's solid. Brent told you about that. We had to put some wheel spacers in just to get that base out a little more. But it's doing awesome. So we found the buggy, got the buggy, did a bunch of work to the buggy, and here we are. And now we're getting ready to start our second buggy build.
Second buggy build. What do you got in store for that? Is that going to be ground up? You're going to do the whole tube frame yourself, or is that?
We're probably going to get.
Brent's smiling back. He's like, hell no.
Yeah, we're probably going to get a bent fab chassis is what we're looking at for that. On July 4th, we pulled the trigger on a 2-liter Ecotech engine.
Okay, yeah, I saw you looking for something like that.
A guy that races King of the Hammers had that. And,
is that a goal of y'all's? Come on, sit down, Brent.
Yeah.
Brent's sitting in the background eating pizza.
We definitely want to make it out west. Right now with fuel costs, just not super feasible to make it out to Sand Hollow or out west this year. But
what's up, Brent? Say hi.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, Brent.
We were talking shit earlier.
Oh yeah, I probably deserve it.
Yeah, so we got 2 Super 60s in the backyard and that 2-liter Ecotech that will be headed our way here in a couple weeks. And Moon Buggy's going to have a big brother.
Is it going to be, so the Ecotech, is it going to be just is it going to be about the same size as your Moon Buggy now? Is it going to be?
Yeah, so chassis wise, 48 inches outside width, front engine. It's already got the bell housing adapter for a GM transmission. So probably just going to go turbo 400 right out of the gate, not mess around, and then go straight to an Atlas 4.3-to-1. I wanted to do the 4-speed, but then I think everything's just going to be too long.
Yeah.
As far as drivetrain, but my old buggy was 4-to-1, 203, 205 doubler, and it seemed plenty low, but I had a 700 R4, which had a lower first gear. So yeah, I'm doing all this math in my head.
There you go. Yeah, talking to the mic a little more. You can be able to hear yourself in the headset if you're doing good.
Yeah, I got all these numbers going in my head, trying to figure out crawl ratio and whatnot. So
I can adjust it.
Yeah, that's the plan. I got
try to keep it lightweight and a simple build for parts availability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted a lightweight engine and try to keep everything as light as possible, but the Super 60s came up, and it was just such a good deal, I couldn't pass it up. So then I found another one. So now I got 2. So I'm going to probably have like an offset rear drive shaft and just leave everything the way it is and see how it does. It works for RC crawlers.
So what are you guys going to do to get 3 Jeeps to wherever you're going now?
Well, the Rubicon will be retired.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already, put up a hard fight keeping up with me. So
Brent took the windshield out at the Good Evening Ranch this weekend.
Like crushed it?
Yeah, the frame hit
yeah.
a rock and it kind of bowed the windshield in, and lessons were learned there. Probably should have just taken it off.
It's a JK though, so you can replace that windshield pretty easy.
Already done.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of my criteria for a rig. If I'm having a street legal rig, it's got to have full glass all the time. If it breaks glass, I'm getting rid of it.
Oh yeah, within 3 days I had it fixed. I mean eBay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I
you
found
had to get
one,
a whole new frame and everything.
Oh yeah, but I found one that was used. It was like sunburst red. I was like, whatever. So I just taped it off, painted it black, and
nice.
Saved myself almost like $300-400. So
that's sweet.
Yeah, I watched that go down. That was at nighttime. He was trying to take us up a trail that is not really intended to go up. So we just kind of sat there and enjoyed the show.
Sound like my friends.
Yeah, we just kind of enjoyed the show there.
There's a lot of undercuts and roots exposed, and
yeah,
it's like, I think I can make it, and then is access denied.
So how was Good Evening Ranch? We got invited to go for the Rockstar event, but we couldn't make it happen. How was that?
It's a must see park. It's the wheeling is awesome. I'm not going to say they have trails for all levels. The trails are pretty gnarly, but if you don't
mind breaking a windshield.
Yeah. Well, if you got lockers, you can wheel it. I mean, we had somebody in a JT get in behind us, and he was open, and he got off the trail real quick.
Yeah.
So I won't say it's meant for everybody, but it is a awesome park. We had a great time, and the travel distance between the trails is nothing.
It's only what?
It's kind of like a stadium.
Yeah,
it's like a stadium in a way. Like the ranch is in the middle, and the trails are up around it.
Okay.
And they all kind of lead back to the ranch.
Everything's marked pretty well.
Yeah, everything's marked real well. It's on Maprika. The people there are amazing. The people that run the park, the ranch, the cabins. They have camping in cabins. Very affordable, very clean, really nice. You're only 15 minutes from town, the nearest town. There's even a Starbucks right there. So
nice. Perfect. Perfect for the white girl in you.
Oh yeah, perfect for my bougie side. We actually forgot our French press, so
God forbid.
Yes, I was very bummed. And then I found there was a coffee shop and a Starbucks nearby, so we still got our coffee in.
I've got the Coleman French press for the camping too. So
oh yeah,
yeah. Hard time.
Oh no, yeah. Once you have French press coffee, you can't really go back. No. It's the best.
So do you guys? Where you guys staying? When you guys go four wheeling, do you guys stay in cabins? Do you guys tent camp?
We have a camper, and we stay in that right now, but it's all kind of fresh. We wheel the cove most often, and being only 25 minutes from the cove, we take the camper up, drop it off, and then come back and pick up the buggy, and then I drive the Rubicon up. So we have to make 2 trips right now. But for Good Evening Ranch, we were able to borrow a gooseneck from somebody, nice. So we were able to haul the buggy and the JK, which that turned out to be a good thing because we also took out the taillights in the JK. So
yeah, once I busted one, I was like, maybe I should just take the other one out before I break it.
Okay, so a little proactive.
Yeah, so one is perfectly fine, but we went ahead and ordered the Moto built taillight kit. So
yeah, Brent wheeled all of Good Evening Ranch in the Rubicon, no problem. There was there's different lines you can take. There's bailouts on every trail. You can always choose to take the harder line, but it's much different than the Cove, where the Cove has a lot of rock garden type stuff.
Yeah.
Good Evening Ranch.
It's kind of like trail, then obstacle, and then trail, and then obstacle. And there's just a lot more obstacles in their trails than the Cove. Okay. So
it's just really different wheeling. The territory is just real different, and they're both great in their own sense. But the Good Evening Ranch was definitely different. AOAA now, there's a lot more driving you have to do in between the trails.
Kind of like Roush.
Yeah, and I can't speak on Roush. I actually have not been the Roush myself yet. Brent has been there. but that's on my list. It's on my list. I will conquer Roush.
Roush is a lot of fun. I've only been to the Cove, Roush, and AOA, but our AOA trip was kind of flubbed because we went up in February and half the mountain was ice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And we had a buddy catch on fire like 3 hours into the trail ride, and that kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Warm me up a little bit.
Yeah, we had a good time at AOA. We went up there. We got invited to go up there and run Mammoth, and then after we did that, we were like, well, shit, we got to stay now and do some trails.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff they have here. So we got there about 2 a.m., slept in the truck in a hotel parking lot. Didn't have much sleep, got up and ran. We did 970 feet of Mammoth the first time we hit it.
Okay.
And then after that, we were like, well, we got to stay. So we ended up grabbing a hotel and staying the night and ran trails the next day. And then I got to chatting with Marvin on Instagram. And then he invited me to come run Mammoth with them on the Ultimate Off-Road Field Trip. So then that time we just went up for the day.
Okay.
And only did Mammoth.
Yeah,
we were out there all day.
Day trip once to Roush Creek, and that's a long day of driving.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a great time. It can turn into a long day of almost, 3 hours up there, 8 hours on the trail, and then 3 hours back home.
Driving the whole time.
Yeah. It's definitely, it can wear you out, but fortunately, Brent drives the truck, so I get to sleep on the way home. No complaints there.
Do you have any plans of going back out with the crew from Flex Rocks and Rollovers? Or?
I was told that I am always invited after
That's
Mammoth.
awesome.
I was invited out to Harlan with them this weekend, but can't make that because I'm doing my first comp with the buggy. And then they're doing Windrock after Harlan, and we'll be at the beach, so I'm missing out on that. So timing's not really working out with me to get back out with those guys, but I'm definitely going to get back out with them because they're just a fun people to wheel with, and they have a good time, and the footage is a perk. It's nice to get the footage wheeling, so can't complain there. And
that's always been my biggest struggle with wheeling is I enjoy the wheeling too much that we don't get any good footage.
Yeah, you have to have a passenger who's willing to get out and get footage. I had the best co-pilot with me this weekend. So it's nice to have a passenger that's willing to do that for you, for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
But I'm excited for the comp tomorrow. I realized this morning that you actually must have a 5-point harness to do the comp, which somehow I missed that reading the requirements. I have the PRP 4.2 harnesses. You need to have a 3-inch 5-point harness. So I got on the phone with PRP 40 minutes before the cutoff time for overnight shipping.
Wow.
And they pulled in clutch for me. They're overnighting me of 5.3 harness and arm restraints.
So you got a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll have to pull the seat out of that buggy, which I have done that probably 4 or 5 times now, and I hate it worse each time.
So you get your hands dirty working on the thing too.
Yeah, I'm learning. I am learning my way around there. I try to do as much as I can on the buggy. I took the drive shaft out last weekend. We had to do a couple repairs there, and when we were at Good Evening Ranch, we had to throw some tack welds on my U-joint.
We lost the clips to the U-joint.
Starting to pop out.
Oh, yeah. I was on it last weekend. Like, every little bolt on the ground, like, what's that bolt go to?
Yeah.
Is that from my Jeep? I don't know.
Yeah, and I saw those U-joint caps popping out, like, mid-trail. I was like, hold on, stop, and just pounded them back in with a hammer.
And just kind of
like,
off the trail.
Yeah, let's go back to camp. And then that's when the guy from Good Evening Ranch, Bobby,
great guy.
Yeah, he got off of work. We went down to his shop, and I was able to tack weld him right there.
Nice.
So
yeah, good people there. I can't say enough about how good the people up there at Good Evening Ranch are. I highly recommend anybody that wheels to go up there.
Yeah, they got an on-site restaurant they're working on getting back up and running. So that once that's up and running, it's just going to be like all-inclusive. You know what I mean? You don't really have to go anywhere as long as you bring your coffee with you.
Pull up, get your cabin.
And it's beautiful there too. Beautiful views. They have it's a full working ranch.
Okay, so it's not just like just a fun name for the park. It's
off-roading is secondary for them. They're really into the horse stuff, which I don't really know much about that, but there's lots of beautiful horses up there, big stable. Just the scenery there is beautiful. Which it's odd because town it's 15 minutes away, but it's real rural area where the ranch is, and the drive isn't bad from where we are. So we'll definitely be back to the Good Evening
So
Ranch.
of all the parks you've been to, is there any one you want to go back to, or is there any park you haven't been to that you really want to get to?
I want to get to Roush. It seems kind of basic. I haven't been there, but
We're just going to keep working our way out west.
Yeah, we're going to.
I want to hit Wind
Harlan,
Rock,
Kentucky, Wind Rock,
Harlan, Wind Rock,
Sand Hollow,
Roush. Well, I want to complete the East Coast too. There's a place up in New Hampshire I'd like to get to that I've heard about.
Yeah, you get all your achievements, hit all the things.
Yeah, we'll work our way out west for sure. So I definitely want to go back to AOAA. I want to attempt to complete the Mammoth Trail. My second attempt, I did 1,540 feet.
Okay.
And we ran out of time with our recovery rig because we were with the Ultimate Off-Road Field Trip. They were filming and whatnot. And we didn't start the trail till noon, but the gate opens at 9. So we ran out of time. We got up to the second section, and I was ready to roll. And there's kind of bottleneck going on.
Did anybody from the Ultimate Off-Road Field Trip make it? Finish the trail?
Nobody got... No.
That's such a wild trail.
Everybody that was able to finish the first section is what I call it, before the first real.
There's 4 or 5 of us that completed the first section, the first 1,540 feet.
But it was a large group, so
you cut your chops finishing that top 5.
Well, AOAA yelled down and cut us off. They said
it was Sunday.
Yeah.
So at like 5 o'clock, they're ready to go home.
That's the only thing about AOAA is they shut it down at 5. All the trails, you got to be out of there by 5, which is... makes it you got to be out there at 9 a.m.
Yeah, they're a real
and you got to hit it hard.
Real strict park, but they're also run by the state. I think they're run by the local government, which is pretty interesting for them. And that's actually how they got access to all that land.
Yeah. I think they kind of came in and saved the land.
Yeah.
Barry, all the guys that run AOA are great guys. Joe and land manager out there, and after my second trip out, they called me up and said you can come back out anytime. We'd like to see you hit Mammoth again.
Nice.
And told me I have a free pass to come back and run Mammoth.
That's awesome.
So
you're making waves, man.
Well, it's when you're a female in a male-dominated sport, you draw attention. It's kind of inevitable. So.
Has that been tough for you at all as an up-and-coming female in a mostly male-dominated sport?
No, I mean, everybody's been pretty supportive and thinks it's pretty rad that I'm out wheeling the buggy and doing what I do. I've had some people make some snide remarks on Instagram and stuff like that, but keyboard warriors, you're going to have them no matter what you're doing. And I just brush it off.
Don't read that stuff. It's not.
No, they're just jealous.
Yeah.
They're jealous of Moon Buggy. That's all. I would be too.
Yeah.
Shit. My own husband is.
He's building his own.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or he's building you a new one and he's getting the old one?
No.
No.
Now, you say that right now.
I have claimed Moon Buggy for sure. He when he went out to pick it up, he said, this is going to be your rig. And
well, it worked. The whole mindset for me was like, let me get something that's like, just super capable.
Yeah.
And can definitely follow the little Ruby, you know what I mean? And it's done that and more.
It's beating it, yeah.
She's just itching. Like when she gets out front, she's at the top of the trail 2 minutes before everybody else.
Yeah, we were last time we were up at the Cove. There was a group of us, and we were coming up Pennsyltuckian, and I was just getting a little antsy, and so I took a hard line left and went around them. I got up to the top of the trail. It was probably 10 minutes before everybody else got up to the top. And I was like, man, Moon Buggy crawls. I couldn't believe the way I just crawled right up Pennsyltuckian because, it's one of the hardest trails up there.
You just get in the zone and you're like,
yeah,
screw those guys behind me. I'm going.
Yeah. I just, they were messing around, taking harder lines and stuff and getting hung up a little bit here and there. And I like to wheel a little more technical, but that day it was end of the weekend, last trail of the day. I was just kind of ready to roll, go back and get dinner, and
nothing broke. Let's just party. I was like,
all right. So that was fun. But
probably one of those. Let's do one more trail.
Yeah. I don't.
Usually the last trail is the one that gets you though.
That's what I say.
It's always
Yeah.
my last trail has always been Quorum. It's always been Quorum, and it always gets me every time.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So a lot of people broke on Quorum. Quorum claimed some axle shafts at
Like 5 or 7 people
at Spring Fling.
last event. Yeah.
So yeah. Spring Fling Quorum was hungry.
I don't know how I did it, but the last time I drove Quorum, I broke 2 front axle shafts. I don't know how you break 2 front axle shafts, but they both split, and I got myself a set of carbon chromoly shafts.
Nice.
And they've held up.
Yeah.
Carbon 55.
Gotta keep your tires out
Like
of
the 15-year warranty
Okay.
ones.
Well, good enough. Yeah, I
Yeah.
go for the warranty.
I always tell everybody, got to keep your tires out of any kind of crevice. You can't get your tires down in a hole like that and try to turn your wheel. It's just how you snap a shaft.
And as soon as you start bouncing, get off the throttle immediately.
Yeah, you got to keep your tires up on the rocks. And
That's what I have liked about the having a clutch in the Jeep is like once you get rowdy, you can just push that clutch in and kind of everything just stops.
Calms down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus the automatic, it really just loads up and
See, I've never wheeled.
Guess you could throw
I
it
guess
in
I have
neutral.
technically wheeled with the standard, but I've never wheeled hard on the rocks with the standard. It's always been automatic, and I don't think I'd ever go back.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, my old buggies,
kid intermission.
but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
That's all good. But yeah, I love my automatics. I don't think I'll ever go back to I guess technically go back because I grew up driving a CJ7 and wheeled it lightly. My dad told me he'd murder me if I ever had it off road.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of had to sneak it out. But I've never been in any rocks, and since I've been in the rocks with my automatic, I don't think I'd ever. And it's blasphemy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't think I'd ever do it in a standard.
Yeah, Ruby just crawls in second, third gear. Like it's, I was nervous till the first time I wheeled it, having a clutch. And I mean, it just crawled. I was just blown away by how capable it is. Just like 7 Slot Society's podcast the other week, they said 1-tons are stupid. They're stupid. Wheel your rig the way it is now. It's capable. He's just on point. Like,
Yeah.
Jeeps are so capable, stock. People, I think don't realize that, and they just immediately want to throw 40s and 1-tons on there, and it's just really not necessary.
It's almost obnoxious how capable they are.
Well,
'Cause
yeah. Get your time in.
Yeah, learn how to wheel it stock before you build it up.
So I like to do when I would guide at the Cove with big dogs, I like to do the Newbie Line just because it's fun to see the look on people's faces when you make them do some ridiculous stuff in their stock Jeeps.
Oh, when we first brought the Rubicon out there stock when we first got back out to Big Dogs, it was like right off the car lot, detailed, clean, shiny. First thing our trail guy did was take us through a big old mud hole. He was like, oh man. Like,
Was he driving a Comanche?
it was Mike.
It was Mike. Oh, I love Mike.
Yeah, I love Mike. But he didn't know us from, anybody else. All he knew is we showed up in a stock Rubicon and hopped in his line, and he showed us a good time.
Oh, yeah. He just kept asking me, do you want to do this trail or you want to go do this trail? And I'm like, do you think I can do it? And he's like, he'd look at my Jeep. It can do it.
But can
But
you?
can
Yeah.
you?
Can you? It's
Yeah.
like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think he was pleasantly surprised by
It was good times.
by Brent's wheeling capabilities, his skills. So
Yeah, the people in the new Jeeps are fun. We had a couple. I think they were a couple. I don't know. They might, if you're listening, I don't know. But they were in 2 brand new JL Rubicons. Brand new with like paper tags on them, wheeling together in the Cove. It was the thing they were doing for COVID. And it was breaking or taking their their 4-wheeling virginity in that was nerve-wracking because it was $200,000 worth of Jeep.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
But it was so much fun watching them and just watching their facial reactions when they
Cringing.
yeah.
gotta be
That-
careful in those JLs, man, with all that electronics and stuff. The guy that was behind us at the Good Evening Ranch, the Cove, his electronics just kept shutting down the vehicle on him. So that's the only thing about those JLs and JTs wheeling them.
Yeah, he even had it in 4 low, and it would just keep cutting out when he was trying to get on it.
like a sensor or something.
Yeah, like ABS was kicking on or something. It was really weird, but he had it in 4 low, and it wasn't a Rubicon though. It was a Sport, so he didn't have any other options, as far
Okay.
as buttons
Yeah.
to push. But
Yeah,
push
he
all
was
the buttons and
push
see
all
what
the
happens.
buttons, turn all the light bars on.
open. But good. We met some good people. We always meet good people on the trail. Doesn't matter what rig they're in. Good people are in the off-roading community for sure. So
yeah, it's always easy to find them because they're the ones with the other people around them. Yeah, that's what I've found is that's how I've found most of my friends at the Cove. That's where all of my whole friend base comes from now, is because it's the people with the other people around them, and you just go hang out, and all of a sudden you're friends. And
yep,
absolutely.
After a long day of wheeling and
just drinking beer by a campfire.
It's like pretty much every group, every line we've got in at the Cove.
We've made a new friend from that. Yeah. For sure. We've met some really, really great people over the past 2 years wheeling. And that's one of the best parts about it is the people you meet and the community.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I was attempting the rock pile after they changed it up at the Cove last event, and I ran out of fuel.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah. So shame on me. But
it looks like they almost made it. They put an easier line on it on the.
There is a much easier line up the back side. You can go any which way up it. There's still that one big gnarly rock at the top, and I was cresting that rock when I ran out of fuel. And people
and you just made your fuel cell smaller.
Yeah, well, yes, we did. My passengers needed more foot room, so we went from 8 gallon to 6 gallons, and that's where I was going with this. A buddy we met with a buggy that night. We found out he's a very talented fabricator, and he cut the fuel cell down for us and welded it back up. And
pressure tested.
Next thing you know, we're invited on wheeling trips with them now.
Nice.
So it's really cool. Something bad happens or something silly happens, and good seems to come from it.
Just making friends everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're
it's really
friends
cool.
with friends with benefits because they can help you with your stuff.
That's nice too. So that's always nice as well. It's everybody has something to offer in the off-road community, it seems. So whether it's just friendship or they're a badass fabricator. So
or they can cook. Cooking's also very important.
Yes, that's very nice. I'm used to doing all that. So I have a friend now that she does cooking too. So it's nice to have a break there.
So you just show up to do the wheeling now.
That's how it went last weekend.
Nice.
But
try and keep that
trade
going.
off.
Yeah, you gotta have a balance.
Nice balance.
Nice balance.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool, guys. This was awesome. I think it was a pretty good first interview.
Yeah.
We definitely got to get together again and do some more. But I'm stoked. Do you have your page you want to promote or anything?
Sure. Yeah. I'm on Instagram at She Crawls, just at SHE Crawls. I'm on TikTok at She Crawls as well, and there may or may not be a YouTube channel coming at She Crawls there as well. Leah Hockman, you can find me either way. We'll see if we can get some footage and get some video editing skills together. And
a lot of YouTube. That's where I'm learning everything.
Yeah. I have to get on the YouTube to learn to YouTube. So
it's kind of a hard learning curve. That's what I've struggled the most with. Is the podcast seems to be pretty easy to put together. It's the video editing, all that stuff. That takes the time.
I can throw a reel up on Instagram, no problem, or a TikTok. But when it comes to making a YouTube video, I kind of scratch my head a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because it's not just as easy as like download it to TikTok, throwing music on it.
Have to find some kid to do it.
Yeah.
Anybody out there, I'm looking for you.
Brent, you have anything you want to promote?
No, I'm good.
Your business, your
Yeah, if you're into RC crawlers at all, we run a business in the works RC. We make custom links and RC crawler parts. Some of the best parts you'll find out there: titanium links, CNC lathed,
big bore shocks.
Yeah.
Yep, 3D printed parts.
Do it all.
Winch line.
Made here in America by yours truly. So check us out if you're into that at all.
Right here in Winchester. So, all right, guys, you know where we're at. Check us out on all social media at The Dirt Drive, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks. Tim.
Yep.